Hi, Jackie here, showing a layout for CSI number 437, June 2024. For this for this layout, I'm using these two papers from Simple Stories. The one with lemons on is from Linen Market, and the green one is from the Spring Gardens paper pack, which is just plain paper and it's got a check on the back. I've also selected some products from 49 Market Sherbet collection and Gardenia collection. I'm going with the colour scheme, which you can see in the photograph on the left hand side, which is lemon, pink, greens, whites and a deep red. And one of the evidence, which is the list down the side, says to use a sunburst. So I've got this large sunburst stencil from my stash, and I'm just applying some mustard seed ink, oxide ink, down. I wanted to do it down one side, but I ended up doing it back around the whole layout. So I was going to originally doing it down the left hand side, the right hand side, as you can see. But I do end up doing the whole stencil. And then I've just added some pink flamingo ink, again bringing the pink in from the colours on the suggestion photograph, just to add a few spots of pink around the yellow sunburst. So I think when that's all finished, I do add a splash of water just to distress it. The actual stencil is a distressed stencil anyway, so there are, where you can see there's pieces missing out of it. That's how it is actually on the stencil. I do add some water just to make it more distressed, if you will. So I've just added off camera, I must have fast forward it, and then using this is I'm going to call my title Joyful, and I'm using one of the evidence again is to use rub-on, so I'm going to use this rub-on sheet from 49 Market Gardenia. So here I am, just cutting some of my papers down to side. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do, but I've just cut some of the those two pattern papers in strips that I'm going to place down the left hand side of my paper. Originally, you can see I had a photograph that is blue and pink. It was too much for the layout, so I've converted it to black and white and decided to do two photographs instead of just the one. Then I've just off camera, I've just backed it to give it a white border so it stands out a bit more onto white cardstock. So basically this is how my layout is going to end up, with the two photographs side by side and the strips of pattern paper down the left hand side. I have got a film strip from one of the 49 Market ranges, which I just cut in half and then use half to the right hand side and half to the left hand side. I think I cut the left hand piece down a bit more as well, and it's just to give it an added interest, extra border, extra layer. Again, I distress all my strips of pattern paper. Add a few dots of double-sided tape to my layers and put them all together. I do cut some more down to size than I originally wanted. I need to get better at sticking my base photograph my base mats down to my photograph. You'll see that again it's towards the end of the layout where I stick I end up sticking everything down to the cardstock. So I've just cut that strip in half. Again, I've still got this coloured photograph, and then there I've changed it to the black and white ones. Then I wanted to add one of the evidences to add some stamp features. So using a piece of pink and a piece of yellow, I think that's there from the Sherbet 49 Market Sherbet collection. I wanted to add some stamp details to the background. So I started off with these ink splodges from a Little Magpie, but they ended up looking like a blodge. So I changed it out to the scripted words. I think it's called Lost Shadow. I'm using the very grey colour, and I've just stamped it all over the yellow and the pink pattern paper just to give it some added extra detail. So after I've done that, I do add some 3D foam pads to the right hand side photograph just to give it some depth. And then as I was going to put it down, I realised it needed just a little more border underneath. So I've added, using the green paper from the Spring Garden paper pack, I've just added another layer to those pink and yellow ones I wanted to put. Again, putting them at a slight angle before I add my photographs over the top. And I still think, yes, I've still not got stuck the base strip down on your left hand side. So we have just adding some dimensional foam to the back of the right hand side photograph, and the left hand side just goes straight down to the onto the cardstock. Now I had die cut some of these large viewfinders using the Little Magpie viewfinder die, cut them in half, and I end up using 3. So I've got one at the top, one at the bottom underneath my photograph, and I do snip one of them down and just tuck it to the left hand side of my layout. So as you know, I don't add, well, I've still not stuck my base down. I think this is where I stick my base down now. But I don't add adhesive to the edges of my layers anyway. So it's easy for me to tuck things under. So just line it up with my ruler to the left hand side, making sure I've not really covered all of the stencil work I've done. And then it's just a case of going through bits and pieces that I've already cut out or I have got from the bits and pieces packs from the 49 and Bar Kit collections to add around my page. Can't see what I'm doing. Yeah, so I've cut some tags off camera. Well, I forgot to press record really. I've found another piece of green, which is a bit darker green than the one I've used from one of the 49 and Market collections. I've just cut it in half, added a piece to the right hand side and a piece to the left hand side. Again, going through my Emperor that I've got. Oh yes, another thing that's evidence is to be used is to use a frame. So I found this green frame. I've sliced it at an angle, and I just tuck it in at the top, and I took the other piece in at the bottom round near the die cut viewfinder. Again, it just slips in nicely. And then I've got this 49 and Market chipboard sheet, and this chipboard piece says squeeze the day, which I want to use as my, well, I was going to use that as my title, but I do change it to using a rub-on and calling it something completely different. It's the chipboard piece does still get applied to my layout. So now I want some pinks to go into it, because I think it's all yellow and green, and there are pinks on the description for the colours to use. So the little label I've just put to the side says, this is Happy. These photographs was taken, I think about 2 years ago. It was taken by Morag. We'd gone to an air festival locally, and there were these big giant deck chairs, and of course we had to, because of scrappers, we had to just jump on them and take our photographs. So I found this half of pink frame. I tried it every which way, and it ends up going at the bottom underneath my photograph, which I think works out perfectly. I have put at the bottom, you can see I had placed a pink ticket, but that doesn't make it. I end up taking that off. So at the top, I've got a chipboard piece which says Sweet Life, which is appropriate because on the deck chairs, I think it was outside a sweet shop, on the deck chairs there was sign would said so sweet. So I thought that was great. It just tied in with the Sweet Life there. So I added 3D foam again just to have a bit more dimension, and added it to the top of the page. Then I find these little arrows. I've got three. I ended up with three. I've got a green, a pink, and a yellow. Again, adding 3D foam just to give it a bit more dimension. And they go round my page. You'll see it at the end. I think I cut quite a lot of this out because it did take me a while to do. This little half circle, it says Silly Moments. So again, I've cut that in half and I just took it to the right-hand side of my photograph. And just above it, you'll see it on the final shot, just above it, one of the pink arrows will be pointing towards the photographs. So I'm still figuring out where I'm going to put Squeeze the Day chipboard, which will go at the bottom. And then I decide that I want to put this Joyful rub on. So I put that down at the bottom. I don't show you me rubbing it all on, so I put that down the bottom. Also on the sheet, that 12 by 12 sheet of rub-ons, was these arrows. So I've just cut them off and added two little strips pointing towards Joyful. The next thing is to add some leaves. So that was another evidence on the sheet. So I just dot them around the layout, just tucking them in where I can, adding a bit of glue, and they all, they just tuck in nicely. Actually, some of them I've cut in half, or I've just cut the leaves off, so it's just the leaves poking through. Because some of them are quite large, but some of them just go in, like that one just went in straight. It wasn't. Hi, sorry, I lost the end of my video, but here are a few close-ups. You can see more of the close-ups over on my Instagram page. The link is in the description box below, as well as the link to a Little Magpie Metal dies and stamps. Thank you for watching my video. Please like and subscribe, and I'd love to have your comments on this layout. Till next time, thank you. Bye-bye.